All right, cool. So we are rolling on the video end. I will count us into the audio and we will be partying. Ready? I'll make sure everything looks good. All right. In three, two, one.
Welcome to episode 132
God dang.
of the
132.
Narcissistic Music Disorder, season 5.
Amazing. Amazing. 5 years we've been doing this. God dang. I'm you know what? I am ready. If you are ready, I would like to make 2025 the year we finally sell out and we just as sponsors and we're shilling for people's stuff and you come on and you talk about your album and even if it's shitty we tell you how great it is and let's just
Yep.
sell out and get rolling here. Let's make
Yeah.
some money, quit our
Anybody,
jobs.
flat earthers, all
Oh,
welcome.
everybody's welcome. Yes,
Flat
exactly.
earthers
Whatever
play frisbee with a
whatever your
basketball.
fucking quirky stuff is, you're in, man. Come on in. We'll talk to you like we totally believe whatever you're saying. That's what we'll do. That's 2025 for us. And especially if you've got if you've got a derivative rock band, definitely come on and talk to us. We'll be totally into that. We won't be dicks about it.
I had a good mail day the other day. I got the new unplugged of Limbo. My friends from Australia.
Nice.
Well, they're
Nice.
out of Long Beach now, but they're from Australia. Jake and Luke Davies. They've had this band since I don't know. I discovered them in I think 2015. I got one of their EPs called Nicotine, and I just dug how it was like Alice in Chainsy and gothy and sort of I don't know, maybe Nick Cave in there since they're
Oh,
Australian,
nice.
but
Yeah.
they're really cool and they reimagine some stuff and they on here they do their stuff and they do Finish What You Started from Van Halen.
I love that song.
They do Street Spirit from Radiohead and they do Down in a Hole from Alice in Chains
Oh,
on
yeah,
here
nice.
amongst theirs and
Nice.
they're super cool. Hopefully they're going to come on in
Cool.
2025.
Cool. Well,
I wanted to
ahead, sorry.
ask you something.
Oh boy.
Our movie that kind of inspired the show High Fidelity, when
Hello.
they're Barry comes in late that day and John Cusack's character and Dick
Yeah.
are working in the
Yep.
store putting away stuff or whatever. And Barry comes in, and he's got his mixtape with I think Walking on Sunshine was the first track.
Uh-huh.
But he said Rob says to him when he puts the cassette in, I just wanted to listen to something I can ignore.
Yeah.
Is that to you as a musician? Is that an
Right.
insult?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. See, so I've been through this because there was an album and I can't think of what it is. It maybe it was Charlie Sexton's Wishing Tree that everybody knows I love. Um that I would sleep to. And I told somebody the keyboardist on that album. I met him when he was playing with the Bodines and we were opening for the Bodines. I'm like, I love that record. I can't tell you. And he was really thrilled that I knew he was on it and how much I liked the record. I don't think it's a huge record, dude. I really don't. So I told him how much I liked it. And then I'm like, I fall asleep to that every night. And I'm like, is that insulting? Like your music bored? But to me, it's comfortable and I can get lost in it and I can focus on it. So I guess it's not insulting. Because I do that too. And no offense to you either. This will be a good one for you. And it only recently did I don't think it's loaded up on a computer here, but for the longest time, if I was working down here, just like cleaning or wiring stuff or what, I listened to American Aquarium. It was on my desktop. Yeah. And like it would play the whole, I might play 3 or 4 times through.
To me, it's that statement is a compliment, and I'll tell you why. It's because you've spent so much time with that record that you can put it on and ignore it and not get lost in it like something else that is
because you've been lost
you.
Because you've been lost in it before.
You've been lost in it so many times. There's no surprises. Like I throw on jazz records I love when I read because I can't just read in silence.
Right. Yeah.
Like going to bed, I gotta have a fan. So
Which
I
is
put on.
awesome, dude, that you're not only listening, you're reading books while listening to jazz. I mean, Jesus, dude. I mean, what do? I watch heavy metal videos. Well, I don't know, doing nothing. I mean, you are a learned man. I like the sound of that. I read books while listening to jazz. I listen to hair metal. Well, I don't know what I do. Nothing.
People who people who don't read don't know anything more than those who can't read.
Is it
Um,
whoa, brother? Is it okay if we listen to books, audio books? Is that okay?
I don't. Yeah, sure.
I can't see shit, dude.
Yeah,
So
that's.
I'm in a
It's
position
funny
where,
because some people are like, "Well, you can't count it as you read the book." Then,
well,
like,
I
why?
don't
You spent the
count it
time.
where. What, I'm 52
Where's
years
the
old.
rules?
Who
Yeah,
do I count that with? Do I
I don't
call
know.
like my
That's
seventh? Do I call Mrs. Kestelut and go, "Hey, I read Alex Van Halen's biography. Well, I listened to it. Do I get full credit?" That is some dumb shit. Someone said for sure.
it is.
Um,
It's like that's as dumb as when people say, "Why do you keep a book that you read?
oh, I will still plow through
Why do
out,
you keep art that you looked at? Why do you keep
dude.
music you
Exactly.
listen to? Same fucking reason."
Exactly. There are a handful of books that I read and reread and reread, and that's okay. And I bring, I mean, like I've said a million times, that Stone's STP book that I found in college. Um, Again, I found that as a matter of fact, I took that book out of Grand Valley's library when I went in there to check out the internet.
Oh,
That's how long ago it was. And I kept that book. I mean, I don't know what the late fees were. I ultimately returned it. It was hardcover, Stone's
oh
Touring
wow.
Party hardcover. And then I found it paperback, and I lent it out, and it's back. And I that's the one I'd carry when the band traveled. I carried it all the time.
Yep.
All the time. It's always in my bag. I don't know, man. I like stuff like, I mean, I just had this the other night too. I'm starting to wonder if I should get rid of my CDs.
Why is that?
They're just in the way. They're over there on a
Yeah.
stand. They're covered in, spider webs and shit. But I don't know that I want to get rid of them. And I don't know if it makes sense to put them in bins somewhere. I mean, Quinn's got a CD player in his truck now,
Yeah.
and I saw my Blizzard of Oz CD. He had come down and took it, and I thought that was cool. I don't know, man. And the other thing that I got to share on this show sometime I should do is I have and I'm sure you do too, but I have a killer collection of local CDs and regional
Yeah, I
CDs.
have like
Shit that
three
people
big
just,
totes
yeah,
filled
that
with
just
CDs.
gave you killer stuff. Yeah, which is fun. Okay, enough of all of this tomfoolery. Uh, Today's kind of we're not often, we don't let like current affairs or anything dictate what we do, but this is a pretty timely show for us.
Yes.
So, what's the topic today?
Your favorite Bob Dylan cover songs. Like
The
covers of Dylan
of
songs,
Dylan
I
songs,
should say.
and we can agree right now, thanks to the movie, Dylan is kind of on everybody's, on everybody's mind right now.
Yep.
Um, Pretty polarizing, don't you think? Bob Dylan is a
Yes.
polarizing artist. Um, how did you? I mean, Bob Dylan has seemed, at least his music, I should say, has seemed omnipresent, right? And it is
Yeah.
since he started. I mean, he's just that guy. Um, do you remember early exposure to Dylan?
I remember getting because I liked Rainy Day Woman, I got the greatest hits, the first one.
And let me ask you this: how did you get hip to Rainy Day Woman?
Probably the
Women.
radio.
Okay, so I I was a Dylan fan, but I didn't know it because I liked all the Bird stuff. Like I liked Mr. Tambourine Man and You Ain't
Yeah.
Going Nowhere and all. This is when I was a kid, like car radio stuff. Because
Yeah.
my dad's not into that. My mom wasn't. Um, I shouldn't say that. My
I think
biological father was a humongous Bob Dylan fan.
I
My
think a lot of people are know his songs, but they say they don't like him, but they secretly do kind of
I was
because they
just
know his songs.
and I was just gonna say, dude, one of the things that I have has changed in me about Dylan is in 1980, whatever. If you asked me if I like Bob Dylan, I'd say I liked his songs when someone else does them because I hated his
Probably.
voice. I
I
hated
probably would
his
have said
voice.
the same thing. Yeah.
I have 100% changed. I have changed where I do love a Dylan cover now, but I like to hear Bob Dylan do his own songs. I do. I like all the songs on my list. I love his versions of, they're his songs. I used to hate his voice, and people hate Bob Dylan's voice. Um, I like it. I like how he phrases. I like the way he says certain words, and I'll get into that when we get into my list here. Um, I got hip to Bob Dylan. I had an English teacher in school. She's since passed. She was Bob Dylan and Neil Young were her two people that she loved, and I was a hair metal guy, and she was always trying. She knew I loved
Yeah.
music, so she was always like, "Hey, man, you gotta." So it was her that really pushed Neil Young on me hard. Who I liked Neil Young, and I knew Cinnamon Girl, and I knew Old Man, and I knew the Hey Hey My My,
Southern
all the
man. And
right,
yeah.
exactly. She hipped me to all of Neil Young and Dylan, and her Dylan song that she loved was Tangled Up in Blue, and she contended that she would pick out like, and this will tell you it was in the 80s, so she would drop the needle, like pull it up and drop it again and listen to this, listen how he says this, listen to this, listen to this.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and so she Tangled Up in Blue, she got, and she thought that if you could play all of Tangled Up in Blue, sing it without notes in front of you, and you knew all the verses and all that, that somehow you had crossed over into this, there was some validity to what you were doing.
Okay.
And so to this day, even sometimes when I would play, like I have an iPad that doesn't have lyrics because I can't see them. It runs the PA. It used to. I don't use it anymore, but it used to run the PA. I would take it and set it down somewhere else, and then I'd play Tangled Up in Blue
Because of her.
because of her, just because I
Yep.
wanted people to know I'd put the time in. Um, so yeah, Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan. I'm a huge fan. I love his voice. I right now, I don't know if he's still with him. I believe he is. His guitar player is Charlie Sexton, who's one of my
Yep.
heroes. There's a great documentary if you ever get a chance. It's called, I think it's called what was that tour called? I don't know. It's a guy named Winston Watson, who's a drummer who played with Dylan. He got the gig from a guy you and I both know, who I actually interacted with before his death, a guy named Charlie Quintana, who was in the Juju Hounds, who was in Social
Yep.
Distortion. He was Dylan's drummer for a while, and Winston got the gig from him. And it's a
Okay.
cool documentary about how Dylan works, what his band is like. It's the Never Ending Tour Diaries. That's what it's called. I found it on like Prime or something.
Okay.
Not a high budget thing or anything.
Did
But
you watch
anyhow,
the documentary I told you about the other day?
I didn't. I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't sat
It's
down to
quite
TV.
good.
The last thing I've watched on TV, I think, was probably the Goldbergs because my wife is locked in that, finishing up
Okay.
that.
Yeah, the
I
Ike
haven't been
Riley
watching.
documentary is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out. Okay, let's get into this thing and start talking Bob Dylan covers of Bob Dylan songs that we like. I'm going to let you open us up. What's your first pick?
Blowing in the Wind by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Why does that name sound familiar? I mean, I know I
It's
don't.
a punk rock, like a pop punk supergroup.
Who's in that?
Chris Shiflett
Oh wow.
is the big name.
Okay.
Probably the biggest name. Spike is the singer.
From the
He's from a
Choir
band
Boys?
called the Swingin' Utters.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh, I
don't.
remember the Swinging Otters.
I'm not really sure who else is in there
Huh,
off the
cool.
top of my head, but it's they have like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes love their country. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes go to the ball where they do like TV covers and they just do all kinds of
Oh, cool.
cover stuff. I don't think they do anything original because that's what they do in their bands. So
Right.
this is their fun thing and they do a kick-ass cover of Blowing in the Wind.
Cool. Wow, that's a good song too. I mean, that's a I mean, I don't know what you'd even call that. That's like a fabric of the world, really. I mean,
Yeah, that's just isn't that the no, that was It Ain't Me, Babe, that Johnny Depp quoted in Blow.
I Yeah, that would definitely say how iconic it is if it was in Blow. I'm just kidding. All right, let me start out with gosh, so many good ones. I'm gonna start here just because it's fun. You mentioned it. Rainy Day Women 12 and 36 Black Crows. The
Yeah.
Crows version of that song is the bomb.
Yep.
I got it on a clear vinyl single, uh a 12-inch single of it had that and it had Hotel Illness.
Oh
It
yeah.
was a
Okay.
clear vinyl. It also had a calendar, and I gave it to my buddy Nick, who's a huge Black Crows fan. He's the dude that I have this friend that we don't talk all the time, but when we do, sometimes I'll get a phone call or a message, and it'll say, "Hey, John, it's Rich Robinson or Mark Ford or Johnny Colt." It's always a Black Crows guy. So I
Okay.
gave it to him, but they do it bluesy. Their version is the version I've done in a band. They
Yeah.
cover it pretty bluesy and cool. So yeah, and they really straighten it out. The Dylan version, which I love and I didn't love at first, is real sloppy and loose and has the
Yes.
horns and I would have said for years the Crows version's better than Dylan's, and now as an adult, I would say that it's not the case. All right, moving on. What do you got next?
It's All Over Now, Baby Blue by Matthew Sweet and Susanna Hoffs.
They are. Did you know Matthew Sweet had a serious stroke?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
not.
in bad shape.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that sucks.
he and Susan, they are. Matthew Sweet. We don't. Nobody really talks about Matthew Sweet a ton. Um, but he's power pop royalty,
Oh
and
yeah.
certainly getting him in there with Susanna, who is a great musician and has that power pop sensibility from the Bangles. Um,
Yep.
they do a lot of stuff like that
Their whole
together.
that whole covers album that
Yeah,
they
it's
do is
great.
kick ass. Yeah.
And I mean,
Their Monday and what else do they do on there? Do they do Cinnamon Girl on there too? I think they
they
do.
have a Neil Young song. I don't remember what it is. So
Everybody knows This Is Nowhere, maybe? I
that's
don't
a
know.
great tune. Okay, now we're talking about Neil Young. Yeah, I love Matthew Sweet. Saw him in concert. I think I've mentioned I saw the bill was this is the one time that the world gave John Merchant exactly what he wanted. It was Matthew Sweet, Victoria Williams, the Jayhawks, Soul Asylum.
Oh my God.
And it was at DTE at Pine Knob, dude.
Oh wow.
And it was so poorly attended. Like I had hill seats that we went right down in the there was no one
Oh
there.
man.
So and it was the Jayhawks were on the Blue Earth tour, I think. Victoria Williams was promoting oh my god, dude. Now I can't remember her big album, Loose.
Oh yeah.
Soul Asylum was out. I think they were
Grave Dancers
promoting
Union.
No Let Your Dim Light Shine.
Mm.
Matthew Sweet was behind 100% Fun.
Yep. That's the one
So
with Girlfriend on it?
no, it's the one with Sick of Myself on it.
Okay.
Girlfriend is off. I think that album might be even called Girlfriend. That
It
doesn't
might
feel
be.
right
I
to me.
think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Good pick. Where am I moving on now? Well, this one I should have brought up way. I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna get chronological because if you're talking Dylan covers, right? You cannot. And I have two songs for these guys. There should be more. I believe the Birds hold some responsibility for exposing Dylan to the masses. I
Yeah.
know that. And the songs I picked, "You Ain't Going Nowhere," um, which we covered in Dutch Henry Forever, and Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yeah.
That version of Tambourine Man is Mr. Tambourine Man, no matter what you think. It's the one that if you say Mr. Tambourine Man, people are gonna know that.
Yeah.
And the Birds, for some reason, dude, McGuinn and the Birds, Dylan song. It's almost like Dylan wrote for the Birds. They just what they did with his material was awesome, and those are two great songs. "You Ain't Go Nowhere" I still play with Greg, and it's a great song, and it's got great lines in it.
Yeah.
Give
Bruce
me a
had that on our Facebook.
yeah, give me a flute and a gun that shoots. I mean, come on, man. Tailgates and substitutes. I don't know what half that stuff means. It's so good.
Right?
All right, what do you got next?
Positively 4th Street by
Yeah,
Shannon McNally.
yeah, that's a great song. And she's great.
That
I
is
crush on her.
you froze up.
I froze up.
Are you
Oh, you,
hearing me?
yeah, I can hear you, but you're frozen. So keep talking. Oh, now you're completely gone. Uh-oh. All right, I'm going to pause the audio so we'll come back and hopefully resume with Scott. We'll see what happens with the video. Scott, you're not there, are you? Okay. Well, anyone who's watching this right now who has stuck out this video portion, kudos to you, man. It's just me now. Scott left. Maybe he'll come back. Um, I'm half wondering if it's not like if I'm on like the wrong internet. I got weird internet at the crib here. If I sign up to the wrong Wi-Fi, nope, I'm on it, man. So hopefully Scott will come back. That would be cool. If not, I'll figure something out because I'm super smart like that. Let's see. Wow. All right. Well, it's still going, and it's got this cool picture of me. I look good right there. Oh, here, start video. Hang on. All right, I'm back. No Scott. Maybe he will try to sign back on while we're talking about Dylan. And maybe we'll just have to, I don't know, delete this whole video. I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, so how have you guys been? I don't get to talk to you guys without Scott here much anymore. Um, I hope everybody's been cool. I send Scott messages a lot and thank him for letting us all do this together. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna try to invite that dude into the Zoom thing. I'm just gonna keep this going. So I don't know. You can watch it or fast forward. Maybe you can fast forward and then you'll be like, oh hey man, um, there's Scott. That'll be the plan, Stan. Let's see if we can get that dude back. I just sent him a text that invites him to this meeting. So because it's still happening, it's still going. It looks like. So I'm not going to tell you what else I have on my list, but if we're talking about Dylan, I'll keep talking about Dylan. Let me think some of my Dylan. Oh, so I also have a book of lyrics, a book of lyrics of Dylan lyrics, like a big thick book that teacher I mentioned earlier gave me. Some cool stuff in there for sure. Um, like I love words already. That's why I think I like alt country stuff. I think I like alt country because it's rock music with cool, smart lyrics, and I kind of dig that. That's cool to me. Um, huh. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do because Scott is definitely gone. So I don't know what to do. I've invited him. I don't know what to do. Hopefully he'll come back. Maybe he's having trouble because things are grooving for me. Let me see what homie says. I'm gonna ask him real quick. You know what? A different podcast would like edit this out. I don't think I'm gonna. If we can keep this video, I think that'd be cool. Oh, there you are. So I guess we'll wait for Scott. It's like he's without Scott, we just can't even form thoughts about music without him here to coach me. Who knows what off the wall stuff I might say or even do? I can't be trusted. You guys know that. But I hope everybody's had good holidays, good New Year. Um, we really did around here. We didn't do much, but that's okay. I've been rocking that Butch Walker Stay Gold. That's been a big deal for me lately. I'm just really into that. And yeah, so it looks like we're not getting Scott back. So I wonder if this should be a two-parter. Maybe we'll do that. Let me see here. Yeah, man, he's not coming back. Huh. Weird. Maybe he had an issue because I guess we're rolling. I wonder if I should stop this. I don't know how this is going to work. The audio portion I'll be able to edit this little gap out probably or whatever. But homie's not coming back. So this might even be archive stuff that no one ever sees. Who knows? See what he's saying to me. Huh, he's not even responding. I'm going to stop this meeting, I guess, and try again. All right. This might be a special two-part episode. Maybe it'll be a very special episode where we talk about some timely thing that affects like an after-school special type thing, like getting in a van or something. I mean, don't do that. Don't get in a strange van. I mean, if there's candy and the person looks somewhat trustworthy, I mean, I don't know. I like, if you've got, say, Swedish fish or something, um, I might hop in. I don't know. Swedish fish, I think a good, I like a sea salt and caramel chocolate bar. I mean, I'm in for that for sure. But anyhow, let's end this and see if we can find Scott.